Academy, and I'm going to talk about skill 1 from Tom Big Al Schreiter, my mentor, who has taught me 25 skills that really changed my career and my life. So I will gladly share with you. Of course, this short video is not going to cover everything. So after the video, if you have questions, just contact me on Skype and let's talk. What is the first skill? This is something that Tom usually underlines, and he says that this is the most important skill, because when you learn how to understand who your prospect is, what language they speak, it's quite easy to find the common ground and to be able to talk with them in an effective and successful way. So, how do we know what kind of language our prospect speaks? Usually, we're really fed up with people trying to persuade other people, trying to push best offers down their throat, and quite often it leads to frustration, aggression, phones get hung up, then people get walking on the other side of the street because they're trying to avoid you, because they don't want to meet you, and all that stuff, horrible stuff. So once Tom said something that really hit me some years ago, and he said, people have really taken away the face and the heart of network marketing. Network marketing has nothing to do with convincing or persuading. It has to do a lot with networking. So you need to show that you care. You need to understand what really motivates the other person and use their own motivation to check whether they want a product or service or not. So that's what we're going to talk about today. This is the first skill, to get to know your prospect better. Now, when talking about prospects, Tom uses well-known terminology and classification. It's one of the foundational in personal psychology. It is the 4 types of personalities. I'm not going to get academic here, and I don't think we need to. So the real thing we need to have in mind is, imagine you have an empty sheet in front of you. You just draw a line from the top to the bottom and divide that into 2 parts. So you have emotionally stable at the top and emotionally unstable at the bottom. So if people are emotionally stable, they will tend to be somewhere up the top of the sheet or the quadrant we will see in a minute, or if they are emotionally unstable, we will try to classify them somewhere down. So before I continue, let me say this and really highlight it. I don't believe in classification that it determines your future. I'm not talking about star signs here. I hate that because I hate people putting other things in a box. I believe everyone is absolutely unique, and you can take your own life in your own hands and make the good use of it. But we do have some predisposition. We were born with a special set of, let's say, speed of your reaction. Let's say predisposition to how you're going to respond to certain stimulus. And all of these, they make the temperament. So it is something solid. It doesn't change with your life. Of course, you can balance it more or less. You can learn skills. You can learn how to disguise it, but you can never run away from it, because in case of emergency, this is what comes up. This is what really shows. And that's why we have a lot of Hollywood movies where people react differently. In some situation of crisis, you see that there are no 2 people who act the same way, and it's quite normal. So this is just the stepping stone, and from then on, we have our personal uniqueness. But then we have all those, let's call them things, that predetermine some reactions, some responses. That's what we're going to talk about here. So, excuse me. Horizontally, we draw another line to make a cross. So on the left, we have the introverted, and on the right, we have the extroverted. And in this way, we have a quadrant with 4 parts, and in the top left, we will have emotionally stable and introverted, then emotionally stable and extroverted. And those are the unstable types, so we have 4. Starting with the first one, this is the phlegmatic, or the way Tom calls this type of personality is the yellows. It's quite easy to remember with the colors, so we're going to talk about 4 colors. And it doesn't mean this is the colors that people like wearing. It means we just use this as a symbol to make it easier to classify, right? Then, this type is introverted and emotionally stable. The one next to it is the sanguine. Again, it's emotionally stable but extroverted. We have the melancholic, which is the green one, which is introverted and emotionally unstable. And we have the red one, the choleric, that is emotionally unstable and extroverted. So let's talk a bit about those 4 types of personalities, how we can identify them and how we can use that in our conversation and building rapport. When you see someone, let's say you see someone in the street or you go and check their Facebook profile and you see pictures of smiles and everywhere this person is, there's a huge smile on his or her face. Then you see pictures of nature. They are lovers of nature. They are lovers of animals. They are environmentalists. They care. So this type of personality is the caretaker. This is the heart. And these people, they are emotionally stable because their reactions are kind of slow. They don't get angry. They don't get easily disturbed. So quite often we tend to think that they're somehow slow. Not necessarily every time, but usually this is the way they process information. This is the way when something happens, the yellows are going to be the least to be bothered because their reactions are slow. They have a big mind and a great heart. And imagine they had fast reactions. Oh, they're going to burst. So they're introverted because they like being alone. They like spending time alone. Many of them will even tell you, oh, you know, I'm not lazy type. It doesn't mean they're lazy, but it means they like just lying somewhere, watching the sky, listening to some music, watching the bees or something. But when they are with people, they like being with people and they like helping people. Then, the blues or the sanguines, those guys are what Tom calls them the monkeys. Why? Because they cannot sit in one place. They always jump, they are active, they are full of energy. When you go and you see a crowd of people, you will see one person who is the center of attention. They have great gestures, they make frowns on their faces, they are so expressive. So these are the blues. And you can notice them because usually they wear bright colors, they make a lot of noise, they speak fast. Unlike the yellows, the blues are hectic. So they speak very fast, their thought process goes at the speed of light. So usually it's quite difficult to catch up with them. Sometimes they don't even understand themselves because they speak so fast. And you can notice a blue when you go to their profile on Facebook. You can see pictures of fun, parties, drinking, loud and noisy events and stuff like that. So, but this is not what you're going to see when we're talking about the greens. The green is like an owl. They're wise, they're quiet, usually conservative colors, usually a lot of books, classics, then a lot of information. They love information. They love analysis. So when they shake your hand, you can notice that they are kind of measuring you. They are analyzing you. Everything they do, they analyze. They analyze themselves. They analyze the world. They analyze the situation. And Tom says, their analysis leads to paralysis quite often. So don't be bothered to try and find pictures of noisy parties where the green is the center of attention. No, no, no. When they go to a party, they usually go somewhere further at the back and they try to get unnoticed because this is the best position to analyze. So usually when you see a green, you will know because they are kind of thoughtful, they're reserved, Why are they unstable? Because they don't show their emotions, but they are like a well full of emotions. And sometimes they burst, and that's a real burst. You don't want to be around a queen when they burst. They get hysteric, they shout, they stomp their feet, but it doesn't happen because they have analyzed everything. Usually it happens with their loved ones, the closest ones, because they can't afford to ruin their image in front of unknown people. And then we have the red ones. They are like a bulldozer. They are the leaders. So when you see someone who is making ways in the desert, someone who is giving solutions, someone, they just walk, and when they turn back, there are at least 10,000 people following them. So these are great people, leaders. They're very strong individualists. They cannot work on a team. On their Facebook profile, maybe they don't have a Facebook profile. If they do, you don't expect to find a lot of parties and stuff, or if you do, it's going to be a cocktail party with famous people. You will see fashion of a high class with all the tags of designer names. Then you will find expensive cars, luxury, posh things, because these guys, they love luxury, they love money, they love success. And usually you will notice they are a very strong personality. They are emotionally unstable but extroverted. They love being among people to rule them and organize them. These are the best managers, CEOs, and stuff like that. So they're unstable because they get angry very easily, and don't be around a red when they are angry. So having that in mind, we don't need to know so much about us, what color we are, but we need to know what color our prospect is. Because in this way, we can build a bridge and talk in the same language. Imagine going to a yellow and tell the yellow, you know what, I have a great offer for you. It will make you huge money, dirty money, and you're going to be rich forever. What will the yellow say? Oh, look at the sky. Look at that bird. Oh, poor bird. I think it has a broken wing. They don't care about big money. This is not the language. Or go to a red and tell a red, oh, you see that poor dog? And the red will say, kill it immediately. What a nuisance. Don't waste my time with that dog. It doesn't mean they're rude. This is just the way they react. This is something that is not #1 priority, and they don't want to waste their time, because time is money. So when you go to a blue, don't tell them, you know what, I have this handbook, it is just 625 pages, and then there are 6 appendixes, and then when you read that, you will know everything about it. And the blue will say, come on, forget it, I'm going to a party. So that's why we need to know the language of our prospect. When you go to a yellow and you see the huge smile, you understand that they are some kind of carer. They're a nurse, they're a teacher, they're some counselor or something, because usually this is what they do. And you just ask, what do you do in your free time? What do you like doing when you're on your own? And they will say, oh, you know what, I like just lazing, but I like going in the mountains, I like nature. Then I love helping people. And then you can say, you know what, I think that right now I have something for you. If you join my business that I'm going to suggest, you will be able to help a lot of your friends to become more successful, to have more money to help their families, and have money to help poor children in Africa. You have got the yellow attention. They are ready to listen. If you say that to a blue, not very likely to get their attention. When you talk to a blue, you need to say, you know what, there's a party. There's a party all night long. Imagine you have all the money you need. You're going on cruises. You're going all around the world. And you know those fast cars. Oh my God. You just sit there. You push the pedal and vroom. And you go at the speed of light. Would you like to have that money to afford everything? And the blue is there. They just say, tell me where to sign. When you say that to a green, you will get completely rejected. So don't tell that to a green. Tell the green, you know what? I know that you need a lot of evidence in order to evaluate my offer. So here are 722 websites that you can read. I'm going to send you 252 files of additional information, and because I'm sure you will have questions, I'm always there for you. Call me whenever you need me. I'm there to give you all the information you need. Will the green make up their mind quickly? No, they don't. But once they do, it's forever. If you manage to get a green into your business, oh my God, this is, I don't know what to say. This is like, you know, I don't know what to liken it to, but usually we don't pay a lot of attention to the greens because they're not the ones who attract a lot of attention. But once you see the systematic way they do things, they are successful because they are committed. They have convinced themselves, they have sold themselves, and they're ready forever. The reds, when you talk to a red about your business opportunity, tell them, you know what, there's huge money in this. There are millionaires in this business. And what do you say to drive that latest Porsche model or that Lamborghini or whatever? So what do you say? And they're ready to listen. So this is important when you present or when you create your ad. Don't try to reach the greens with your advertisement because you need to scan pages and put them somewhere for them to read. It's not effective. For the greens, you need a website with a lot of information they're going to read. But the ones who are responsive to advertisements are the blues and the reds because they make fast decisions. They react on the spot. So just put a lot of excitement, put a lot of glamour, smoke, lights, smiles and cheer and everything, and just a short sentence, would you like to come with me to the Bahamas? And the blues are there. Or put some posh car with some gold elements or something, some expensive pen, and just write down, I thought you liked luxury. Now you can afford even more of it. And you're ready to sell to the reds. So that's why it's important to know the colors, and it's important when you're devising a strategy to have that in mind, because when you speak the language, they respond. If I come to you and I say something in Chinese, I don't think that you're going to respond. But if I speak in your own language or even in your local dialect, oh my God, I've got your attention, right? So that's why colors are so very important. I know that it wasn't enough. I hope I gave you just the hint. This is a skill that is immensely important, and because I believe that you will have a lot of questions, why don't you hit me up on Skype and let's talk. This is my Skype. Just get me there, and I think I'll be able to help you figure out what color your prospect is and how you can talk to the best of your ability and present your product or opportunity. So this is George Alex, MLM Academy. This is skill number 1 of Big Al Schreiter. Bye guys, bye partners, work effectively, and see you again soon with skill number 2.